Help me hit 10,000 subscribers so we can keep growing this community of men who speak truth to each other and share the kind of wisdom that really matters in life. If you are a man who has lived for 60 years or more, I want you to sit down for a moment and listen to these words with your whole heart. This is very important for your future. Often we think that the biggest mistakes we can make at this stage of life have to do with losing our hard-earned money, or maybe our bodies getting a little bit weaker, or even the fear of being all alone in a big house. But there is a mistake that is even bigger and more dangerous than those. It is a quiet mistake. It is the mistake of letting a person into your life who does not belong there. It is about letting the wrong woman enter your world and slowly, bit by bit, taking away the most precious thing you have worked your whole life to find, your peace. I know that sounds like a tough thing to say, and some people might hear this and get upset right away, but I am asking you to stay here and talk with me for a while until we get to the very end. What we are talking about today could save you from years of feeling tired, years of feeling sad, and years of wishing you had made a different choice. Let's be very honest with each other about something that many people are too scared to talk about in public. By the time a man is 60, his life is different than it was when he was young. He is not out there trying to prove he is the strongest man in the room anymore. He is not trying to show off or win some kind of race. He has already seen a lot. He has had big wins, and he has had big losses too. He has worked hard, made sacrifices, and looked after others for a very long time. Now he finally knows what truly matters. At this time of life, the best things a man has are not things you can see in a bank book. They are things you feel deep inside. It is that calm feeling in your mind. It is having a body that feels okay. It is being free to do what you want with your own time. It is the joy of waking up and knowing that no one is going to put a bunch of pressure on you today. But even though these things are so valuable, many older men give them away far too easily. They get into a relationship and put all that peace at risk. They think that having a partner will automatically make them happy and comfortable. Sometimes that is true, and that is a beautiful thing, but many times it does not work out that way. What starts as a nice friendship slowly turns into a heavyweight. It turns into things you feel you must do, things people expect from you, and a lot of emotional work that makes you feel very tired. The saddest part is that many men do not see this happening until it is too late. The cost starts piling up, and it is not just about dollars and cents. It starts with something that drains your very soul. Before we dive deeper, I want to ask you to please subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. Help me reach that 10,000 subscriber mark, because every single subscriber tells me that these conversations matter and that there are real men out there who want to hear the truth. When you subscribe, you become part of a community that does not hide from difficult topics. We face them head on because we care about living well and finishing strong. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you never miss a conversation that could change your life for the better. Now, let us talk about why many men over 60 should be very, very careful before they decide to have a girlfriend. It is a topic people usually skip over. It is about how much work it takes to handle emotions. As you get older, that kind of work gets a lot harder to do. Think about when you were 20 or 30 years old. Back then, you had a lot of energy. If you had a fight with someone or a big misunderstanding, you could stay up late talking about it. You could handle the ups and downs of a relationship. You could handle all the talking and the trying to figure things out. But once you pass 60, things are different. Your life goals have changed. You do not want to spend your time dealing with stress that does not need to be there. Your energy is like a battery that you need to save for the things that really count. After decades of working a job, taking care of your kids, fixing things, paying the bills, and carrying the world on your shoulders, you reach a point where you just want things to be simple. You want quiet mornings with your coffee. You want a day where you know what is going to happen. You want people in your life who make you feel relaxed, not people who make things complicated. But when a new girlfriend comes into your life, sometimes the opposite happens. It starts out nicely, but then it becomes your job to take care of her feelings. You find yourself trying to fix problems that you did not even start. You spend your time telling her everything is okay over and over again. You start picking your words very carefully because you do not want to start an argument. Little by little, the energy you should be using to stay healthy or to enjoy your hobbies or to spend time with your family is being sucked away by the relationship. Many men do not even know this is happening. At first, it feels good to have someone pay attention to you. It feels nice to talk to someone new. It feels good to know someone is interested in your day. But Then the rules start to change. If you want to be alone for an afternoon, she might get upset. If you want to do your own thing, she might not understand. Your need for a little bit of quiet becomes a problem that you have to explain away. And when a man has to spend all his time managing someone else's moods just so he can have a little piece of his own, that is not companionship anymore. That is just being tired all the time. This tiredness is only the beginning. It usually leads right into another problem that many men do not think about until it hits their wallet. Your money means something very different now than it did when you were younger. This is not about being mean or keeping everything for yourself. It is about knowing that your financial security is precious. When you are 30, if you lose money, you can just work harder or find a second job. You have time to make it back. But after 60, your money is what keeps you safe. It is what pays for your medicine, your house, and your ability to live without being scared of the future. Many times, financial pressure in a relationship does not happen all at once. It starts with small things, like a nice dinner or a trip or a gift. You do these things because you are a good man and you want to be nice. But slowly, these small things become things she expects from you every time. You might find yourself spending money just to keep her happy or to avoid an argument. You might be scared that if you stop spending, she will leave. Loneliness can make us make bad choices with our money. We might ignore the warning signs because we like the company. But when a relationship ends, the sadness goes away after a while. But the money you lost does not come back. Your pension, your savings, your retirement fund, these are not things you can replace. Some men end up supporting a girlfriend in ways they never planned. They pay her bills, buy her things, take her on trips, all because they are afraid of being alone again. This is not love. This is fear. And fear is a terrible reason to spend your hard-earned money. A woman who truly cares about you will respect what you have worked for. She will not drain your resources. She will add to your life, not take from it. If you find yourself constantly worried about money because of a relationship, that is a clear sign something is wrong. And while money is important, there is something you have that is worth even more. It is your freedom. Many older men end up being sad in a relationship because they lose their freedom. And this happens so slowly, you might not even notice. One day you wake up and realize you are not the boss of your own time anymore. Before you had a girlfriend, you could do whatever you wanted. You could wake up late, eat a sandwich for dinner, or spend the whole day fishing or reading a book. You did not have to ask anyone or explain anything to anyone. That freedom is a beautiful gift, but relationships require you to share your time and make plans together. You have to think about what the other person wants to eat, where they want to go, and how they feel. This is normal in a relationship, but for an older man, it can feel like a lot of work. After a lifetime of doing things for bosses and family, you finally have the chance to live for yourself. Giving that up is a very big deal. Some men find that they actually miss their quiet life more than they enjoy the company. Freedom is the ability to live your life at your own pace. When that pace is always being broken by someone else, you start to feel frustrated. You might feel guilty for wanting time alone, but that guilt is misplaced. You have earned the right to structure your days however you want. This leads us to a big trick our minds play on us. It is the difference between getting attention and getting real respect. Many older men fall into this trap. They get a lot of attention and think it is the same as being respected. When a woman is nice to you and tells you that you are great, it feels wonderful, especially if you have been alone for a while. It makes you feel like you are still important, but attention is easy to give. Respect is much deeper. Respect means she cares about your time, your rules, and the life you have built. Attention can go away the moment things get a little bit hard. Respect stays. Some men are so happy to get attention that they let the woman treat them poorly. They ignore the red flags. They make excuses for her behavior because they do not want to be alone again. This turns into being dependent on her, and that is a dangerous place to be. You become so used to having her around that you forget what it was like to be content on your own. You start making decisions based on what will keep her happy instead of what is good for you. This is how a man loses himself. He trades his self-respect for a little bit of attention, and in the end, he has neither. I want to remind you again to please subscribe if you are finding value in this conversation. We need more men willing to speak and hear the truth about relationships, money, health, and happiness at this stage of life. When you subscribe, you join a brotherhood of men who refuse to be fooled by sweet words and empty promises. We are building something real here, a place where honesty is more important than being popular. So click that subscribe button, leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, and let us keep this important conversation going. Loneliness is the big reason men make these choices. It is a sneaky feeling. Sometimes it feels like being bored. Sometimes it is just seeing an empty chair at the dinner table. After you stop working, the days can feel very long. Your friends might have moved away or passed on. Your children have their own lives. The house is quiet. Loneliness tells you that you need a girlfriend to be happy, but what you might really need is a purpose or something to do that makes you feel good. A relationship is like a band-aid. It might cover the hole for a while, but it does not fix it. If you expect a woman to be the only reason you are happy, you are putting a very heavy load on her. And when she cannot carry that load, the relationship falls apart. The happiest men over 60 are the ones who build a life they love first. They have friends, they have hobbies, and they have a routine that makes them smile. When you already love your life, you are much more careful about who you let in. You do not need someone to save you from being bored. You only want someone who makes a good life even better. This is the right mindset. You should never enter a relationship from a place of desperation. Desperation makes you blind. It makes you accept things you should not accept. It makes you settle for less than you deserve. But when you are whole and happy on your own, you can see clearly. You can tell the difference between a woman who adds value and one who only takes. There is also a physical cost to all this. When you are young, your body can handle stress. You can lose sleep and still go to work. But after 60, stress is very bad for your health. A bad relationship can make your blood pressure go up. It can make it hard to sleep. It can make you feel weak and tired all the time. Protecting your peace is a health choice. Every fight and every worry takes a toll on your heart and your nerves. You might spend all your time eating right and exercising, but if your relationship is stressful, you are still hurting your body. At this age, your health and your peace go hand in hand. If a relationship is making you sick or tired, you have to ask if it is really worth it. Doctors will tell you that stress is one of the biggest killers of older adults. It contributes to heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and a weakened immune system. When you are constantly walking on eggshells around someone, when you are always worried about saying the wrong thing or doing something that will upset her, your body is in a state of constant stress. This wears you down. It ages you faster. It steals the good years you have left. No relationship is worth sacrificing your health. If being with someone is making you sicker instead of healthier, you need to make a change. There is also the danger of losing who you are. Alone, you are yourself. You do what you like, but in a relationship, you start to change to make the other person happy. You might stop doing your favorite hobby because she does not like it. You might stop seeing your friends as much. You start acting like a different person just to keep the peace. You might think this is what love looks like, but it is actually losing your identity. True love should let you be yourself, not force you to change. Once you start losing yourself, you are easy to control. You become a version of yourself that exists only to please someone else. This is a sad way to live, especially after 60, when you should finally be free to be exactly who you are. Your identity is built over a lifetime. It is made up of your experiences, your values, your likes and dislikes, your routines and rituals. When you give all that up for someone else, you are giving up the very thing that makes you unique. And for what? For a relationship that might not even last? For companionship that comes with so many strings attached, it feels more like a trap? It is not worth it. The best relationships are the ones where both people can be themselves completely. If you have to hide parts of who you are or pretend to be someone you are not, then the relationship is built on a lie. The best way to live after 60 is to be very picky. The men who are the happiest are not the ones with the most money or the most friends. They are the ones who are very careful about who they spend time with. They ask if a relationship makes their life better or worse. They ask how they feel after they spend time with a person. If they feel tired, they know it's not right. They also know that you can have great connections with people that are not romantic. Friends, family, and neighbors can give you all the talking and fun you need without the stress of a girlfriend. They protect their energy like it is gold. They know that time is short, and they do not want to waste it on someone who brings them down. Being picky is not the same as being mean or closed off. It is about having standards. It is about knowing what you will and will not accept in your life. At 60, you have earned the right to set boundaries and stick to them. You do not owe anyone an explanation for why you choose to live a certain way. If a woman does not fit into your life in a way that feels good and natural, you do not have to force it. There are plenty of ways to